All in favor? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, what we have now under 8, you have financial report. So you will see that this is as of March 2017, which is last quarter, right? Just after we had the audit. So are there any questions regarding that financial statement? If you have none, I need to have a motion to approve them. Councillor Bengry?
I'll make a motion to accept the financial statement as of March 31st, 2017.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. All right, let's go to 9A, Code of Conduct. As you recall, we just had some training. And so now what we need to do is a motion to approve for the electrical distribution system.
Resolution, Council.
Mayor, I think the appropriate motion would be to approve the compliance report dated for the quarter ended March 31st, 2017.
Okay, so say that again, Jeff?
To approve the quarterly compliance report for the quarter ended March 31st, 2017.
Okay, all right. Shem, did you get that motion?
Well, I certainly didn't make it.
Yeah, I will make it. Is that the, that's the form after the PowerPoint, is that right?
Yeah, it's a little, basically a little.
Oh,
No, sorry, it was an addition,
Put
Councillor.
on our desk.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
There we go.
Thank you.
Didn't pay attention to
Gotcha,
it.
here. There we go.
Okay.
So I will make the motion to approve the quarterly compliance report ending March 31st, 2017.
Thank you.
Presented.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, any other questions
Yeah.
regarding that? Go ahead.
So basically, each quarter, we're going to have something similar to this?
I'm hoping you have something identical except
Okay.
for the dates that says there was no complaints.
Right. Okay.
Quarterly, we have to accept them?
Yeah,
Quarterly and then
So
annually.
this is basically something new that we've been...
yeah. Some of you will remember the market surveillance
Yes.
report.
Yeah.
It's the same, it
Were they
replaces.
quarterly?
Yes, they were.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bet they were.
So this will be basically replacing.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah,
It
okay.
replaces
Yep.
the market surveillance.
Right.
Does Kevin Phillips still deal with this stuff?
Yeah, he's helped me draft everything up. and-
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Thank you.
Wonderful.
Let's go to 10A, Councillor Bengry, you wanted to
I want to discuss
ask
it.
something about
Yes.
the
I had
Lions.
a person contact me about the fastball diamond that's located in the northeast corner of the town square. It's the only legal sized diamond for baseball.
Southeast or
Southeast
northeast?
diamond. There isn't a northeast diamond.
Yeah, northeast, I'm sorry.
Weather cool.
There
So
isn't a
anyway-
northeast diamond.
No, that's the
Anyway,
tennis
what the
court right
concern is this.
That's, okay,
It's
so that's...
southeast, yeah.
Southeast, yeah, okay, all right.
Southeast corner of Town Square.
No, he's
No, we're talking about
Lions
Lions
Park.
Park.
Oh, down Lions
North,
No, you
northeast,
said Town Square, Councillor.
I'm sorry, northeast of the
Lions.
Lions Park. The
Okay.
current concern is this. The league went in and built that
Pictures.
The dugout.
the dugout, did a beautiful job on it. And apparently, the town was supposed to go in and do the other one on the other side. And that is a mess. If you go and sit in that dugout, just in the benches, you have to go down into a drop-off. There's no stairs going from the parking lot area, and you have to step down probably a foot to a foot and a half to get on the ground. Then you go into that place, and it's just a mess. And the grass up behind it is tall and shaggy.
This one on the north,
Yeah.
on the north side.
Yeah, it's right there by the
By that transformer.
transformers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I'm saying, was there ever an agreement with the association, with the Little League or whatever it is, that the town does something with that visitors that dugout. And also, we need to make sure that when we have a tournament down there, that they have access to washrooms.
Well, I'm guessing Ryland Schaefer's bent your ear on this.
Yes,
Who's
right.
talked to you?
No,
So-
no,
Okay.
somebody else.
It's always interesting how the dugouts are fine until you build a new one. Now the other one's terrible, even though they were both manageable until last year. Good for the high school. To the credit of the high school team, they built the new dugout last year. Ryland took that on, and it was my understanding that they were going to be doing the other one this year, that they were going to be building that as well. So we have no agreement per se with them to build another one. It may be reasonable to do so. I wouldn't say it's not reasonable to do so, but it isn't a project we planned for the year, I can say that.
Well, I can suggest, as I look at that, I think to myself, if I was a visiting team here and I had to be on that part and look across kitty corners to the other one, I'd be a little bit,
The high school could have built the other one first.
yeah, well,
That
whatever.
would be nice.
And then,
Chivalry.
I was down there today and I saw umpteen dozen zero-turn mowers mowing that field, and I'm thinking to myself, why can't they go up halfway up behind that dugout and mow about the length of that 300 feet of that thing? Because if you get a ball whacked out of bounds and a baseball is small, you'll lose it in that grass and stuff like that. So, and it would just groom that up a little bit more.
So the high school takes care of the ball diamond and the football field now.
So we mow it though.
No, we do not mow that.
No, it is them
The high-
that have to
the high
look
school
after
Division does
it.
it.
What was our mower doing then?
I'm not sure they were ours, I don't know.
Because-
We have helped them in the past if they've needed a little help getting going for the year, but that's their responsibility at this point in time.
Well,
Okay, all
I
right,
think we need to
so,
look at it very seriously.
So I guess I'm just wanting to follow up, is the recommendation that we look at finding budget to build a dugout? Is that your request, or where are we going with it?
Well, I would like it to turn over to Parks and Recreation Committee to see if they can find something. Councillor Bourne sits on that, I think.
you know something, they don't meet often enough to help us.
No.
I may be misunderstanding. I thought it was the intention that they were going to build the other dugout this summer.
The school division.
Yeah, well, the high school team was
Yeah.
doing it as a project, so they basically got most everything donated for those dugouts. And that's why you'll see on the back of the one that was built, there's a little framed out area where they'll be putting donors and who helped and all that stuff. And so but maybe I misunderstand.
Can I ask the Parks and Recreation Committee to follow up on that, Councillor Bourne?
Wouldn't you be best to ask Jeff to deal with his manager?
Yeah, I can follow up on it
Would
and
you
see.
do that?
That was what my suggestion was going to be, to have
Yeah.
Jeff follow up on that until we know for certain what's going to happen. Then if they're not going to do anything, then we can maybe go from
Yeah, I
there.
can talk to Ryland and see.
Well, the capital enhancements are ours, right? So the dugout technically, even though they manage it,
Well, again, they did it all last year. We didn't. Ryland came to us, and I think we put some money towards it.
right?
I think he came and said, hey, if I could get some seed money, then the school division, I can probably talk them into matching it, because they're responsible for it now, which is what happened. The school division matched what we put in, which I think was only like $300 a piece. And then they got, I think Home Hardware donated some lumber, and the cement plant donated some cement, and I know the guy that did the roof donated the membrane roof, and they went around, and there's some stone still coming to finish this one. It's not done, it's just scratch coated. And I think Kodiak is donating that. So they hit the trail and found donation. We weren't really involved with it at all.
All right, so essentially that is number one of your question. Number two is the issue with the bathroom. When there are tournaments, of course, it's always a little bit of a problem. There are bathrooms, but they are quite far away. So that is an issue that we resolved last time, thanks to you, Jeff, but
Well, most of the time, the pool's open. Yeah, most of the time, when there's an activity down there, the pool's open from 6 in the morning until 10 at night, or 9 at night. So normally, we're covered. We've had an exception, and I went down and unlocked the pool, and they used the washrooms. In the new construction, we actually are building it so there's a door on this
That's on-
west side of the new building that we can lock out, that will just go into 2 washrooms. for that very purpose.
Private,
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
Good idea.
So they'll have a key card that they can unlock the door, and then it'll be there for, we'll
And
just give
that
the
is
key to
something
baseball.
that we discussed after
Yeah.
that funny incident that I was there watching the game and I thought, oh my, yeah, we do
What
have.
time of year was that when that happened? Because normally the pool's
It was
open.
cold.
It was
It
in,
was cold, so it
Usually-
had to be in September.
Must have been like, it was provincial, so school
Yeah.
was back in maybe?
Yes, it was
Yeah,
probably beginning of September or somewhere
Cool.
down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we got a phone call and I went down and unlocked it.
Yeah.
And generally
So-
that's fine.
and we've got a beautiful Lions Park. And I think it would just enhance that one corner if we could do something with
Okay.
half of that hill and just groom it a little bit. And I think it would just totally overall, make things look a lot better.
I'll talk to Riley.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Now, 10B, Councillor Edmonds, Waterton Park.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess you're probably all aware of the fiasco that's going on in regards to
Visitor Center.
the visitor center, which is a 10,000 square foot building with a 70 vehicle parking spot. And one of the options they're talking about is taking out the spray park
Right.
and the playground.
And it's brand new.
The tennis court, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything's gonna go. And it appears that the decisions are being made by one man, who is now trying to justify his job by coming up with other options, from what I understand. And there's a lot of concern from everywhere. not only
Residents
in,
of town too.
But there's people that have places in there from Arizona and other places throughout the states that have signed the petition. They've now got 1,996 people signed up. They're hoping to get up to 2,500 and then present it. And I guess Martin Shields is working on this
Right.
with the Parks Minister. And I think if we can all get behind it, and even if you just sign the
Petition.
petition, but the best thing is to just send an email to the minister and say that we don't agree with what is going on, and even have to put like Constellations meetings, there's still no firm guarantee as to what's going to happen.
This is federal, isn't it?
What I'm wondering, Councillor, they had a form of
Open house
open house,
on a Saturday.
but if I understand correctly, the plans are there, and they were trying to get the people to agree with what was there, but they were not there to listen to what their concerns were, because that is almost a fait accompli type of thing. And I'm wondering, I had a phone call from a citizen from town regarding that, and I told her she needs to contact the MP because that is a federal issue.
Yeah. Well, Glenn Motz is aware of this.
Right. And so I would suggest that all those who hear us would do exactly that. If they have concern and want to voice that concern, they really need to make a phone call to their MP or write a letter.
Well, the contract is already awarded.
And that is my concern because for the past year, many groups have pushed to stop that location to be for the visitor center, but to no avail. And I am wondering, is that to no avail because
It's a
the
done deal.
federal government feels is the right thing? And I cannot see the federal government having done that without having done a little bit of research. Now, there is limited parking, but there is also in that park new parking. On many streets, there is new parking. all the streets that are repaving right now have new parking, and will add a lot of parking to the park. But I am not there to understand numbers. All what I know is this year is free and it's going to be a large amount of people, but I do not think that we'll have it open this year.
No, it won't be finished this year.
2020.
So this year is not going to be the issue.
The interesting thing is that on Facebook, they've had 18,000 hits, which is a lot of people that are interested in what's going on there.
But that does not translate as a stop of the work.
True.
And I really cannot speak for the government, nor for Parks and Parks Canada. I understand the frustration of people. I really do. It's a lot of space, it's a loss of places for kids to play, for adults to play. And yet they're going with it. So what is it? What's the motivation? I do not know.
Can't we as a town write a letter?
If you
Just,
so wish.
just to
As a neighbor.
express our frustration with the process?
So this was an update as of Wednesday's meeting. Alberta Southwest hosted in Waterton. Mayor Barney, is it Barney?
Yes.
But
He gave the membership kind of an update. He said that at this point, as was mentioned, it is decided they're going to go ahead and rip it all out. But what they just barely got was the reassurance from Parks Canada that all of that infrastructure would be moved and relocated. And right now, they're looking at where they'll spread it out kind of randomly, probably by the old school, now the new community
Oh, yeah.
center.
Yeah.
So right in that field where
Right,
the goats usually roam,
Yeah,
that'll be the new spray park. So he was happy that they at least said, whatever you lose, you'll get back.
okay.
But he wasn't thrilled. Anyway, they're still not sure that's the best thing for the
Sounds like
town.
he's a one-man show.
Well, yeah, so it's still kind of an ugly fight, but he said at this point, they've basically conceded and the Parks Canada will at least, there will be a park. But, parking is still going to be an
Well,
issue.
the problem with the parking lot, if you put in 70 parking spots, if you go there on a long weekend, there's no parking
You're
whatsoever.
gonna go there.
What's gonna happen is people are gonna there and park for the whole day.
Right,
And there'll be no visitors able to park and get into the center.
right.
Well, it's plugging off the entrance to the campground too. That parking is restricting the entrance to the campground.
Yeah.
So your RVers are going to be, I just can't imagine.
Well,
So,
so right now, they've considered that that's the way it will go, and as long as they recoup those play park and tennis courts. Well, so my point of view, my recommendation would be still for people to contact the MPs.
Yeah.
The process is always an issue with governments. Very often they make a decision and consult afterwards, rather than do the opposite. Anyways, so do your due diligence.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
It'll be interesting to see what it looks like in a year.
Yeah. All right. 11, correspondence?
Seniors?
Yes. Alberta Seniors and Housing, there is an announcement of resources that can be had. The next one is an interesting one. Is Mr. Goldgant, who has, Goldshant, sorry, who has sent to the town a box of gifts that look like little churches, but you could make birdhouse out of them or something. If you,
Just on the pew in the back, if you want to
Yeah,
grab yours
I
on
mean-
the way out.
they are very cute, a lot of work, and there are toques also. And he explains why he has been doing that. He has put a lot of effort and obviously took him a lot of thought. So take it for what is worth.
Gord lives in town?
No, it was up by Edmonton.
By Edmonton?
So my point of view, maybe it would be appropriate to send a thank you letter.
Motion to that effect?
Do you want to send, at least, well, we receive gifts, normally you thank people
Yeah.
for a gift.
Okay, I will make a motion that we send him a thank you.
Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Chinook Couch, to save the date. Who is on the Chinook Couch? Is Councillor Edmonds?
Yeah.
Councillor Edmonds, is that something that is important?
But it is one of the libraries, it's a 25-year anniversary, and so they're going to have a celebration with, they haven't decided what they're going to have yet, but they will have food there, and they're hoping a lot of people will come.
Are they going to do a fundraiser, or are they going to
No, it's
just be a
strictly a
celebration?
celebration.
Is this is it a public invite? There's not very much news on here.
Yeah,
No, we...
everybody or just council invited?
With the
Okay.
save the date, they're just making you aware, and I anticipate any day I'll get the full information.
All right.
Except that June the 15th is our AGM for South Grove, so I won't be there. All right, Alberta Southwest. That's regarding culture and tourism.
Yeah, I can speak to that just briefly. The request was sent out, and no sooner did we send it out that they assured us they would not be doing a regional assessment of the economic impact of the Newcastle region and all that that implies. They did say that, however, they're sensitive to us. They came and reported to our council in person and apologized that it wasn't in the budget at the time to do that assessment.
Really?
Yeah, so no point at this point, sending a letter from the town saying, hey, we also would support a regional economic impact assessment. It was a good idea, but they said no chance.
All right.
No chance.
The next one is 11E, Alberta Recreation and Parks Association. They're requesting a volunteer submission. So if you have any names that you think should be good names to have on those committees, good people to have on those committees, let
Has our
Jeff
Parks and
know.
Rec foreman ever been recommended for something like that? I wonder if
Our
that
Parks
would-
and Rec board is kind of a transient board, because we never know half the time who's going to be there. They keep on changing people.
Right.
People get called on and then they, for one reason or another, they have to move on, so, yeah, so we,
Kind of the reason I was thinking that is it may be, like normally if you're looking at citizens, it would be appropriate to refer to that committee. But if it's a recommendation from the town for our maybe Parks and Rec foreman, that might be appropriate, I'm sure. How many years has he been doing that?
He's worth, I don't know, 22, something like that.
So, anyway, that was just me thinking out loud there. I don't know if we would want to recommend him from the town as an outstanding community leader, or,
I think that'd be a nice thing to do.
yeah.
maybe if it's
Randy's
a good
worked hard.
idea, I could make the motion to direct administration to nominate our own parks foreman. So,
We'd have to send him up there and.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, go ahead.
To nominate, let's do a direct administration to nominate for an award our own parks foreman.
Randy
Randy.
Russell. Chateau Louise. Not bad. Okay. All in favor? All right. 22 years of service is
Do I
not
get
a
to
bad
go and
thing
escort
on
him
the
up there?
service. All right.
Have a count if he wins something, he has to take us all out to
I think we
dinner.
are done. No confidential
We will take it.
items, therefore we could adjourn.
I will make the motion that we adjourn.
Thank you very much, Councillor.
There you go.
And thank you, administration, and Jeff and Shem, for the food.
Yeah, very good.